Hi, everyone. I'm Tiff O'Connell. I'd like to welcome you to our April 21st, 2026 edition of O'Connell Law's Lunch and Learn, where you get to sit at your own desk or hopefully somewhere more comfortable, eat your lunch, and listen in on a topic we'd like you to know about. We limit our webinars to 30 minutes for the actual content. Because of this, we'll be limiting the presentation so that it does end at 12:30. That said, if we don't have time to answer all your questions prior to 12:30, we will stay on at the end of the formal presentation discussion to answer those questions. So if you have time, please stay on and ask and listen to what others are wondering about. To help us move things along, please post any questions that pop up for you in the question and answer section at the bottom of your screen. Again, we'll get to those questions at the end of the presentation. So, today's topic is all about AI. And now I'm not going to give the normal discussion I say, other than to say AI is here. There's going to be more of it. It's a scary time, it's an exciting time, it's a time that we need to be careful, but it's time that we need to be paying attention. So, with that, I'm going to immediately introduce my guest today, who is Al Levy with the Marketing Switch. The Marketing Switch is a marketing and consulting firm that helps businesses nationwide use modern marketing strategies and AI to drive growth responsibly. Al Levy is based out of Moline, Illinois, and he's surrounded by corn. So, Al, sometime I want to know more on that. I do know that area of the country, and I do know there is a lot of corn. Um, Al is actually our firm's marketing consultant, and I've known Al for many years. So, Al, welcome. I'm thrilled to have you on this.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Thank you.
So, Al, I want to dive right in. Why should we even care about learning about AI?
The big thing I'm going to say right off the bat is that AI is here, like you mentioned, and it's not going to go away. We've never had a technology that has made things easier and more convenient for people, and we just decided to not use it. It's going to be used. It's going to be everywhere, and it's to the point now where you almost can't even avoid it. If you've ever gone to Google recently and you've typed something in, you'll see the little response that comes below it.
Yeah.
That is AI. So whether you like it or not, it's everywhere. You call some numbers up recently. Yesterday I lost the internet, so I text the little number and it automatically came back and said, "Yep, there's a service outage in your area." And you got to get it. So AI is here. It's great to learn how to use AI the right way.
Got it. Got it. And so, knowing that, let's just dive right in and start learning
Yeah.
about it. So, what's the first thing we should know?
Oh man, the first thing you should know. Well, I'll tell you what, I made a little slideshow. I made a little slideshow. So I put a slideshow together. We're going to play a little game. I put a little slideshow together with just the text and a couple of pictures. And I said, AI, make this slideshow look pretty for me and produce what you produce. I haven't seen what it did. So we're gonna kind of go through this and see. We can pick apart how AI organized the slideshow and if it got the point of what I was going for.
All
So
right, fair enough.
we'll see what happens here.
I appreciate the disclaimer.
Yes, exactly. I'm not going to take credit. Usually I'm pretty good at graphic design stuff, but on this one I'm not going to take any credit for this because who knows at this point. All right. See my little brick background there? Hey, here we go. Okay, can you guys see that? Everyone
You
good?
can see it.
Okay. What's all this hype about? This AI hype. So I made this cute little robot. I like how AI tries to convince you it's all cute and adorable, you know. You can trust it, don't worry, it's okay. All right, so right off the bat, I've said basically you don't need to be tech savvy. If you can type, you can use it. Really, conversational type thing. We'll get more into that in a little bit. You can't break anything. You go in there and goof around and say whatever you want, and it won't break it. Trust me, it won't break it. And last, they said it's around 91% accurate for some of them. And then a lot of that depends on the user. And we'll get into more about how to ensure better accuracy. Is it ever going to be 100%? Who knows? Probably, maybe. I don't know. I like it not being 100%. That way, it requires us to use this brain that we've been given. So, and by the way, Tiff, as I go along, if you have questions or anything like that, you want to jump in, please interrupt me. I just tend to ramble sometimes, so I
All
will do
right,
my
not a
best.
problem. Yeah, I know I will definitely have some questions as we go through this.
Great. All right. All right. So, made the next slide. Look at this. I made a little cute icons here. Okay. Love it or hate it, it's not going away. In fact, it's getting hard to avoid it, like I mentioned. It is. So the question is why learn about AI? And as we go through here, I'm going to talk more about AI and give examples. And I hope you can kind of see why it is important to learn about AI. Yeah, it's neat that it can make funny pictures and it can put the little candy cane pictures of you and stuff like that. That's all nice and well and good, but there are real reasons why you should learn AI. And I'll talk about them real quickly as we breeze through here. I also want to mention that you could sort of think of AI like the internet. Remember when the internet first came out? People were like, "Ah, I'm never going to go on that. I'm never going to go on that." Look at you now. You're on the internet. You're on Zoom. You've embraced the technology, and it's not going to go away. The internet's not going to go away. AI is not going to go away. Same kind of thing. So let's learn how to use it. All right. And but this little guy. So what is AI? I've heard it's like having the smartest person from every industry at your fingertips 24/7. And that's not 100% accurate, but for knowledge base wise, it really is. You can go from learning about petroleum engineering to learning about how to make deviled eggs
Yeah.
in 2 seconds and have experts at it at your fingertips. It's
And
unbelievable.
and Al, I want to pause you here because I am taking learning about AI very seriously. And my goal is to learn this responsibly and not do anything risky using AI because I certainly don't want to run afoul of any confidential information. I know we'll get into all that.
Hmm.
But one of the things I want to just point out, because I've personally seen this, is that last year, so this would have been March of 2025, when I went to the American Bar Association's tech show. It was, oh, we've got to learn about AI. Yes. And at that time, they were talking about think of AI as being a great 1L assistant. Now, for anyone that is in the legal world, 1L means a first year law student level skill, right? So having someone who could help you, but you really had to give it a lot of context, a lot of prompts, and a lot of that. AI is beyond that now.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
so it definitely, just in the last year, has just improved so much. And again, it's not the panacea for everything, but it is pretty, I don't know if smart's the right word, but
Yeah.
right, but it definitely, it's getting a lot more, yeah, no, that is right.
Yes. Leaps and bounds every minute of every day. And well, something else that's interesting is that right now it's the worst it's ever going to be. It's only going to improve from this point on, no matter what. So you're getting in, and it's going to keep getting crazier and crazier. And I will use the word crazier, no problem. I definitely will. But like you mentioned, it's not necessarily that it's the smartest. It is what's called an LLM, the ones we're going to talk about using. An LLM is a large language model. And what that really does is it's taken basically everything you've heard about on the internet and that it can get knowledge of, and it's predicting the next word that usually comes after that. So I put in here an apple a day, and then the AI decided to put a little apple there for whatever reason, sure. But when you say an apple a day, you know it's obviously going to say next, when in Rome. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to say it's going to
Keep the
predict the
doctor
next thing it's going to
away.
say.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's going to predict that all the time, and it does that through what we've already put out there in the world. So in theory, if we all wanted to change what an apple a day meant, we can go in there and change it to say when in Rome. And if everyone agreed on it, then the AI, the LLMs, or whatever you want to call them, would change its response because it would start getting the right answers. So it's really based on things that we've given it. So it's when you hear about data centers, stuff like that, it's not this massive pulsing brain somewhere with all the knowledge. It's a predictor of what is going to come next.
And it's just
So
based on all of the information that's out there that has been able to obtain publicly through, again,
correct.
internet, through Reddit, through other plenty of sources. Yeah.
Exactly it. Exactly it. All right, let's slide the next slide. Look at this. Okay, that's not so bad. AI is doing good with the slide so far. I'm liking it. So when I say AI, this is really the AI has got all the different LLMs, like I mentioned, but this is the different softwares that are can almost be used interchangeably as the words AI. ChatGPT, you probably heard about Meta AI, Google Gemini, yada yada yada. You can see the different market shares here. If you add that all together, that's about 4 billion people, 4 billion users
That
so
are
far they're
already
using it.
using it.
Yes. That is the fastest growth in the history of humankind ever, of any sort. I mean, how many people are on the earth now? 9 billion or something like that, and 4 billion users? That's just insane. But
Well,
so you can see here that there's obviously a big take among the different industries and the different softwares here. I'm going to focus on ChatGPT. So whenever I talk about AI, I may end up saying ChatGPT or AI, but for you guys, we'll stick with ChatGPT. It's the most commonly used one, and we'll just discuss that as the one. If you're already using Google, you're already using Gemini. It's already part of it. That's why I think Gemini will take over, but that's a little bit down in the weeds there. So ChatGPT, to get started, ChatGPT.com. You go there, and the first thing you'll see, if you're on a desktop, it'll be this big screen right here, and you can just type in anything you want. If you want to log in, that's up in the upper right-hand corner. Click sign up for free, and it's free. All of this is free. That's wild.
right now.
At all. Right now. Yes, right
Okay.
now.
Yeah. At some point, they may end up charging, or
Yes,
you'll see plenty of
exactly.
commercials. Yeah. And
Exactly
ads.
it.
Okay.
Yep. And ads. You can also use it on your phone. A little picture of this cool little hand with the phone guy, like the cousin It from Adam's Family is holding up his phone. So feel like that. I like it on the phone. It's great because you can take pictures and instantly upload them. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But it's not so hard to get in there. Really, it's just a website. Nothing crazy. All right. So how to talk to AI. I made this little graphic using AI. Wow, genie. I wish to be rich. And the genie poofs and makes them into a rich chocolate bar. Yes, AI made this graphic completely. No, I don't know how they can get away with trademark infringement on the genie because that is, come on now. Like, where's Disney at with this, you know?
Right.
But, and you can see it's this is the 91% accuracy. Why is the genie saying it too? And it looks like the genie turned into chocolate, but we're getting there, you know? It's
I'm
getting
also
there.
counting the number of fingers because that's something that you can always, sometimes they might
Yeah,
hit too many fingers or something might be
exactly.
weird. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. But we're getting there. So if you used to be a graphic artist or draw cartoons, now this guy just made it in 2 seconds. So kind of gives you an idea. But really it's talking about what you should ask, how you should talk to AI. So here's an example of something I put in. Look at this silly slide I made here. So I put in a chat here. My lower back hurts when I stand too long. What should I do? So the answer came back, get cushioned shoes, get arch support, anti-fatigue mats, etc. And it's supposed to break this up, but this didn't obviously tell us a different section. But this is how most people use AI. This is why people think AI is kind of useless. 'Cause it's like, well, I know. Get cushier shoes, right? And then even recommend these shoes right here. I just had to put them in the slide because look at these giant things. It's like, wow. It's like walking on a giant loaf of cheese or something. It's crazy. But so here's the example of how that goes. So I went ahead and took the next step and I typed in the whole explanation. My lower back hurts when I stand barefoot on hard floors, but it feels better when I wear shoes, especially my Nike Metcon shoes. I exercise to strengthen those muscles, but still hurts. What could be causing this? Look at this, a completely different response at this point. It talked about how I might have weak feet, how maybe my foot flexibility needs to get worked on, it is just feet strengthening. It gave me exercises. It talked about barefoot shoes. Look at these things, the opposite of the last shoes right there. Even give me this little diagram of the foot arches and how they go in with the knees rotate and it tilts the pelvis, which just causes back pain. Wow, that's a completely different answer than the last one, right? Because I described the situation more and what was going on here, and I really helped them narrow it down. And I put in here, it referred to previous chats because it mentioned before that I used to be in the Air Force, worked combat boots for a long time, and it said, "Oh, you previously mentioned you were in the Air Force. So when you wear combat boots, they're very stiff and they don't let your feet flex. So maybe you want to work on flexibility." It's like, wow, okay. So that's an example of how we can use a very simple prompt, what's called a prompt, when you type it in there, of my lower back hurts, or you can explain it to them and get a correct answer. This is more working down to the actual cause.
And then, of course, the attorney in me just wants to quickly say, please do not use any form of AI to provide you with your medical diagnoses or what you need medically. Please make sure you seek actual medical assistance. But this is very cool.
Isn't it cool? It's
Yeah.
great. Okay. Yes. All right. So the next example I have here, broke it down like this. My car is broke down on the side of the interstate. What should I do? I put a little picture of a moped there for whatever reason. Sure. Or you break it down and say, I got a 2007 Prius and I was driving 65 miles an hour. I got a battery engine light. Couldn't accelerate anymore. I pulled over, put it in park, now I can't get in to drive. The difference between these two different responses, this actually, all these examples are things that I've gone through.
Now,
If you
these are
broke down
all
the set,
prompts, right?
correct, prompts. That's
Okay.
what you typed into ChatGPT, the question you're asking. Yes. So if you type the first one in, I'm broke on the side of the interstate, it's going to say, pull over, be careful, put cones out, flashing lights, and all stuff like that. And eventually it's going to come down to I've already called the police for you, a tow truck is en route, we've called your insurance company, whatever it may be like that. That'll be the next step. It's coming very, very soon. The next prompt is, all right, obviously I want to fix this problem. And it's going to say, okay, cool. So we have the Toyota Prius, check the battery connection. Okay, do you want to know where the battery connection is? Yes, I do. And it goes to the next steps. So how you talk to it depends on what the answer is going to give. So a lot of times when you say, oh, it's not very useful or it gave me a bad answer, well, it probably was a bad question, a bad prompt that you put in the first place.
And then, Al, I just want to add to
Yep.
this that I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, no, 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 I've tried this before, and I asked it, and it was gibberish." One of my questions is, yes, how was your prompt? But
Exactly.
also, when did you try that? If that was even 6 months ago,
Yeah.
AI has definitely evolved greatly since that time. That if you put that same prompt in now, you might get a much more specific response.
Yes, absolutely. And I used to previously say it, I still kind of believe it, but don't really ever fully believe the first thing that it gives you. It may give you a response and then elaborate on that spot or response. Say, this is wrong, this is right. No, I had a Prius, not a whatever it may have given me, things like that. So I always take the next one too, but 100% right. It's changing very quickly and just give it a try. Check it out. So if
And
you're
then,
broke on the side of the interstate, it can save your life. Tell you to put your cones up.
and then Al, one other point I just want to make sure I'm bringing up
Yeah.
is all that we're showing here is very cool and it's going to be very useful information, but you should never trust but verify.
Yes.
Never rely on this blindly because it can very convincingly take you down a path that sounds right, but may not be right.
Yes, exactly it. And since you mentioned that, it can be a tell me what I want to hear machine. So, for example, let's say you got an email. You got an email yesterday. It seems a little suspicious. I think it might be a scam. Take a look at the email address. It looks unusual. There are several misspellings and grammar issues. Plus, how would a Nigerian prince get my email address? What do you think? And you can upload the email in there. What you've done to this is you've told it, I think this is already the response that I think it's going to be. I think it's a scam. This is what I think it is. And it's going to come back and say, that's very good observation, and you're very smart, and it probably is a scam, and yada 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 like that. You're kind of leading it where you want it to go. It's almost like kind of a forced confirmation bias type thing, and it will do that. It will come back and say that's absolutely right sometime, but that's where you need to be a little bit cautious on giving it too much information. Try not to give it an opinion. Try to just let it come to its own conclusion and go from there. So what I would say to it is, hey, move it all to the center. That's fun. Is this email a scam? I don't know the person who sent it. It appeared in my email yesterday or today. There you go. Put it out there and let it analyze everything for you and let it go in fresh, and kind of test it a little bit, I guess you could say.
And one more pause here. And sorry, Alex,
Please.
keep on taking over. Please, this is not the webinar for this, but please do not click on any links within an email that you do not know is supposed to be happening because it could create a real problem for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Tiff and O'Connell Law, you guys have given webinars and you have events and things like that about preventing from scams and stuff like that. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. We need more stuff like that. And AI can be a great way to help you avoid these scams and hopefully not click on stuff. So another example, Tiff, you're going to love this one. The lawyer in you is going to jump out on this one. Ready? Okay, it's blood test results. You can put in your blood test results, like just say, oh, this is what this indicates, and this is what this said, and blah, blah, blah. And it can kick out vitamins it thinks that you may want to get. Of course, could talk to the doctors, don't get me wrong. It could even give you food recommendations, recipes on how to make that food. It can order the food and supplements for you right there on the spot, give you links for it. And then you can click a button to have it delivered to your house.
And this is where it is right now.
This is pretty much where it's right now. If you have the advanced edition, you can almost do all of this right now.
Wow.
And if
Again,
not now, 6 months from now, this will be standard.
and
Yes.
again, go to your actual doctor
Go
for
to your expert doctor.
confirmation. But yes.
Yes. 100%. I like to use it for things like, vitamins, stuff like that. Oh, I'm low on zinc. Okay, cool. So what foods have zinc in them? Oh, try this food. Okay, well, I'm a vegan or I'm allergic to whatever. Okay, cool. It'll give you recipes for that and then teach you how to actually cook them. Tells you what temperatures and stuff. Pretty neat, pretty neat. But always talk to your doctor, of course. Foot stomp. You can't see my foot, but I'm foot stomping. All right. Here's another example. Not so serious. My daughter's turning 17 soon. Give me gift ideas. I want something she'll actually use. She likes hanging with friends and driving around. So I put them on the thing. I actually likes makeup and yada yada yada. ChatGPT suggested a 1 year membership to a car wash, like a local car wash chain around here. And this has been the coolest gift I've ever given because every time she goes out, she gets a car wash, and she comes in and she says, "Got a car wash today, Dad." I'm like, "Yeah, you're welcome." Like it's great. I would have never thought of something like this. So
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's awesome.
Not all so serious. Sometimes you can have less serious things. So also, let's see here. And it changed colors and complete style. Why not? Thanks, AI, for changing the entire style of the PowerPoint. Well, okay. You do you, I guess. So there's some examples of things you can do, like explain this document to me. If you have confusing documents, take a picture of it, upload it, and it'll explain what everything means for you. Of course, verify. Summarize this article for me. You can put a podcast in there, summarize this podcast for me. Things like that save you a lot of time on stuff.
And actually,
Netflix
Al, I
password.
have done that for the podcast. You can go to the podcast, get a copy of the transcript. I don't know if you have to take that extra step anymore, but you get the transcript, then put the transcript in, and it would summarize from there.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
so
it really
cool.
is amazing. And I'm going to have a big problem with the next one, but talk to me about why you're talking about this one. Netflix password reset. What's going on there?
So I have a I have an older aunt and I've become like the tech guy for the whole family. So they call me all the time. My printer's not working and the Wi-Fi's out, so I'm always running around neighborhoods helping the family out and stuff like that. So I put the Netflix password because this is the most recent one that she asked me. How do I'm signed on to Netflix, come help me. So go over to the house and okay, and I pull up ChatGPT and here you go. This is how to use it. And so ChatGPT actually walked her through how to reset the Netflix password for her. It's great.
Got it.
Reduce
So,
the time.
okay, so this is not having Netflix reset the password or
It's
give you
not.
the password to use. Okay. Yeah,
Correct.
because everyone listening in, that is not a good idea
It's not a
because
good
then
idea.
that information is out in the public. So do not do
Exactly.
that. But to ask how to, sure. Okay.
How
I'm with
to.
you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Setting up Wi-Fi, same kind of thing. Once again, this is coming from the tech guy who gets called. So my aunt called me not too long ago, and she says she's all flustered and worried. This is kind of where I started this idea about maybe having a webinar about AI usage. She's all flustered and worried. She's like, I think my Amazon account got hacked. So I go over there and I look through the emails and I look through everything like that and I start analyzing stuff and going along. And I say, okay, it's a scam. Don't worry about it. So okay, thanks, Auntie. Okay, bye. And I got to leave. And as I'm leaving, she says, the crazy thing is I don't even have a Netflix account. So I'm like, okay, let me teach you how to use AI so we can so we can eliminate a lot of problems right off the bat. So that's kind of where I started with this idea of let's have a
Okay.
webinar about stuff. So another
Right.
example I put down at the bottom, my Whirlpool dishwasher is stopping at 44 minutes and flashing lights. And I had to push the door to restart it. What could be the problem? If I would have gone in there and said, I think the door switch is bad, what do you think? And it would say, absolutely, the door switch is bad, but I like to let it analyze on its own. So just a couple of quick examples. This is a picture of the front of my house. Over here on the left is the original. I said, I want to see what my house looked like with black siding. So I did this. This is the first round. There's my cat right there. You notice he's right there.
Oh,
This is the first, this is the first round right here. And I said, I noticed, wait a minute, the flashing and the whole roof is all white. I don't plan on doing that. I plan on just doing the siding. So I went back in there and said, just the siding. And it cut off the round two part. And you can see it automatically got rid of that. I made the gutters white. Within 3 seconds, I had what my house would look like with black siding. And I'm like, this is pretty neat. Isn't that
that's
amazing?
neat. So, all
Yeah,
right. So I'm going to do one other, again, me as the attorney. Please do not add any photos of yourself, your children, anyone else into a public. Because can we please talk about how this is out in the public and this
absolutely.
is not necessarily behind any kind of firewall?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been suspiciously absent in the conversation that you're putting a lot of stuff out there and we're kind of just trusting that it's everything's going okay and I'm sure the machine that's running is being safe. Nah, I've seen enough Terminator movies that tell you that that stuff's not safe out there. So you need to be very careful and very hesitant on things like that.
Yeah,
100%.
and then just again, just to kind of drill it in just one more time. What Al is showing is really cool and really helpful stuff. But please, please, whatever you put into it, that is not information that just stays with you. It could end up in someone else's hands. So for anything that is not enterprise level, which businesses are starting to use, this chat GPT, any of the things that were listed, that's public, do not put any sensitive or private information out there.
Absolutely. 100%. All right. Another fun thing right here. I made the whole this thing in a picture. It's fancy. My son found an arrowhead not too long ago, so I took a picture of it and said, "Tell me about it." And it went into the history of it and what kind of material it is. It looks like chert, which is very common in Illinois. It talks about the ages about that. So I was able to tell my son that it could be, 1,000 BC, as old as 1,000 BC, and that just got his mind running. And now he wants to learn about stuff. And so we've actually gotten books now about the history of here and the Native American stuff like that. What does it call mean? So we took this little idea and just expanded what I already wanted to do was get outside and go see the world. We used AI to do that. So hoping inspiring. If you guys have nephews, kids, grandkids, whatever, and they're into certain topics, here's a great way to learn more about their stuff and get them more interested in things and give ideas and stuff like that. So then, of course, they suggested you should buy this metal detector, of course, because they're always going to do that. So while I was building this up this weekend, I'm thinking of like what examples could I give of AI, and this funny van drove by my house. So I took a picture of it as it drove by, and I just typed into AI, "What in the world is this?" And it told me, "Oh, this is a ground utility scanning vehicle. It's doing ground penetrating radar. It usually means work is coming up and yada." And I'm like, "That's really interesting." I took one picture and it analyzed the whole thing and told me what it all is. Pretty neat. So now I know the upcoming work is happening, and I'm like, dang it. So then I got in the rabbit hole of learning about ground penetrating radar and how it all works and what the machine was, and then I was in a rabbit hole and you end up watching cat videos by the end of it. So who knows? But okay, last little bit here. It made it a whole different slide again. Here's the tips for prompts that you want to type in there. Explain it to me like I'm a child. I like that one. It gets not technical stuff. It explains, oh, what's up? What's going on with Iran? Explain it to me like I'm a child. Okay, cool. And it tells you, it breaks it all down for you. Or act like, if I got a picture of the front of my house, act like a home designer, or act like a graphic designer, or act like a marketing consultant, whatever it may be. So actually, don't type in the act like a marketing consultant thing. Just call me. I'm just kidding. What should I look out for? Ask me a few questions so you can give me better answers. What do I need to know before answering? Tell me pros and cons. Tell me ways I could be wrong. That's a good prompt right there. Tell me ways I could be wrong. I think we could all use some of that. So, and then at the end here, it changed colors again. Why not? Thanks, AI. Getting all the colors of the spectrum. Just kind of going over why. Once again, scam prevention can make your life a little easier. It can inspire things like with my son and the arrowhead stuff, expanding your knowledge. And I put at the bottom my daughter's 17. So my daughter's 17, she's a junior. We're looking at colleges, we're looking at careers and stuff like that. If I wasn't aware of what AI could do, I might be like, hey, graphic design sounds like a good idea, or get into this. So unfortunately, this is going to I'll just say affect a lot of careers going forward, and I don't think it's going to go away. So whenever your kids, grandkids, nephews, whatever it is, come to you and start talking about stuff like that, you're more knowledgeable about what's coming, what's in the future, so you can see and make better recommendations, and you can be the smart one, things like that. Or you can just go to AI and say, what should they do? What career should they have? So,
Yeah, and,
oh,
and Al, well, first of all, I can't believe we're coming up on 12:30 already.
oh man.
But I think your last point about my daughter 17 is huge because this reminds me that this is not going away, right? We don't know how fast this is really going to start impacting our lives. It already is impacting our lives, but we don't know how much and how much faster. There's no regulation really per se right now, which
Mhm.
one would hope that's coming. But we do. I really feel that we have a duty to ourselves and to our loved ones to really stay on top of what is happening. Now, you might decide, hey, I don't want to use it, but at least be aware of it. That's why there's so many of you guys here today, right? I was astounded at how many people registered for this event. And so I am honored that every one of you showed up. I know there's going to be a bunch of people listening to recording. Al, thank you, thank you, thank you for talking with us today on this. I know we're going to be probably back here in another 6 months because it's going to be that much further ahead. But with that, thank you all for listening in. Um, I'm going to switch from our presentation discussion right to a question because we actually had a question that popped up at the beginning that said there's an echo. Okay, so that I'm not too sure if that's been happening for others. If so, I haven't noticed it. I apologize if that happened. But there will be the recording that should be good. And it looks like there is another question that popped in. So okay, so here's a question. I use Gmail and Firefox. How do I get to Chat GPT?
Sure, yeah. So Firefox is just where you can scan the internet and look at all the different websites. Just go to chatgpt.com. Just type it in there and it'll pop right up. It's all free too. Easy
Yeah,
stuff.
and then on your assuming that you have a smartphone in your app store and on Androids, is it called an app store or is that
Play Store. Play Store.
Okay. So wherever you get your apps, you can type in for ChatGPT or like I use Claude, right? And it's not one's better than another, but that said, there are different ones out there. And then also know this, and this is something that I wanted to mention because I personally have experienced this. So I switched over from ChatGPT and I was using the paid version, which again, public. So make sure you're being careful for sensitive private information. But on the paid version, which is about $20 a month, you have a lot more usage of it, right? And then on the free version, I think what you're limited out to like 4 or 5 questions or something at a time.
Yes.
Something
Yeah, I
like
believe so. Yeah. And you get more
so
in-depth answer with the paid ones and stuff like that too.
right. And
So,
on the paid ones, you get a lot more content. And so
correct.
it definitely is, but you can download any of the different uh, chats that I was mentioning, where it's Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, any of those you can get from where you get your apps, and then you can just Google it or use Bing or whatever you use for your search engine if you're using a laptop. And questions keep on coming, so I'm just going to keep on going. Could you please elaborate and how it can be dangerous depending on the questions you ask? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Al, start us off.
Serve that one up as an alley-oop for you right there. Really, so at the like Tiff mentioned, putting information out there at all in general on the internet is always very, I don't know, sketchy, I guess you could say. And here's a dirty secret that I didn't mention that is it's a fact. They actually don't know how the AI works internally. Isn't that wild? The people who made it and built the whole thing don't actually know how it really works. So that's pretty nutty. So can that information be put in there be used against you in the future? Like I said, I've seen enough Terminator movies that it absolutely can be, and we don't know who's got access behind the scenes, and this is all brand new technology. I mean, ChatGPT was launched in 2022. So it's that 4 years ago, and it's already got 4 billion users. We haven't even really seen the effects of this yet. So
Right.
overall, general computer safety, don't put information out there at all.
Right. And so, yeah, it's just that normal technology hygiene where don't put any private information of yours, anything that any bad actor could try to latch onto to end up doing something that would not be good.
Yeah,
And then the other dangerous part is it could give you wrong information.
absolutely.
Right. And so that's why it's like I'm sure everyone here has definitely heard about the a few attorneys out there who have decided to use ChatGPT for their complete reliable source for case law. And no, that is not a good idea. And
Mhm.
that can lead to bad results, meaning that the case might not exist or might be the wrong information regarding the case. So dangerous from a standpoint of do not put your personal information out there and verify the information
Yes,
if it's
exactly.
something that is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, especially medical stuff, like I mentioned before. Always be very careful on medical stuff. Don't be getting crazy with the computer. And I think I had a friend who literally was telling me that he knew somebody who drank baking soda because they heard through somewhere, and I'm like, "What? Kill me! That's not AI. I told you to drink baking soda because that's a terrible idea."
Bad idea. All right. So here's the next question. Does a VPN help in any way to give me some privacy? No,
Yeah,
because you're putting the information into a chat that can then take that information and who knows where it goes. So VPN is a great way when you're working on a computer for purposes of someone not being able to look at this stuff on your computer. So think of it that way. They can't look at what you're working on, but once you put it out there, it's out there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
So that was a great question, and thank you for mentioning VPN. That's always
Yeah.
that's a great thing to have. And then exactly what does it mean that it's public? I think I might have touched on it, but Al, maybe you've got an additional point.
Sure. What I mean by public is it's not a lockdown government secure system that, only the good guys have access to. It is out there, and this is a private, for-profit companies that have all this stuff. And they're definitely going to be using that for things, and it's coming very quickly. They're going to be. Do you think the ads are following you around now when you go on your phone and internet? This is going to be even worse because they're going to know a lot more about you and things like that. So public just really means it's not locked down by any kind of government or any kind of safety net for that we know about at least.
Right, right. And then, oh yeah, all right. In some ways, AI might be very helpful for people in early stages of dementia. Like, what day is it? Where am I? Do I have any appointments today? But then the person goes on to say, but I am concerned about the risks. Any thoughts? Any way to make it safer for older users? So actually, Al, I'm going to take this one if you don't
Mhm.
mind.
Please.
So yeah, so I mean, AI, it could. So this is my own personal take on where currently I think AI is going. I don't think AI is at a point currently where it's, again, for the public stuff, again, if it's a, depending on what you're using on the enterprise business level, but most of the people listening here are not dealing with that. So think we're dealing with public stuff. Um, I do think AI will get there where, yeah, right now it can actually, you know what? Right now it can help you with what day it is, but it's a trust but verify. And I'll tell you why. I just did a whole trip plan for a trip that I'm taking using Claude. And I worked with Claude for about a month designing out my whole trip. And actually, here's a tip. These AIs can get confused after a while.
Yeah.
So don't always believe it's going to continue to stay and make sense. Sometimes you have to bring it back because it definitely gets somehow disconnected from what it was working on. That said, I gave it context as to the days, and it was pretty good about it. So there was one time where it had the day as the wrong day of the week, but it had the right date. So it may not be quite there, but it's pretty darn close. So I would expect months. As for where am I? Yeah, at some point, I think if it's not there yet, it may be. But again, you got to be careful. Do I have any appointments today? Yes, I can, but you've got to be careful because once you start linking it to your different programs, like if you use Gmail or you use Outlook or whatever, again, if you're using it in a public chat, is able to get access to potentially personal information. So I would be careful linking it to things because, again, you're now inviting it within your ecosystem. But I'd be concerned there. So I do think there is a risk for linking it unless, again, you're in an enterprise level thought. Um, but yeah, Bill, who's sent this message, I think AI is going to be huge in helping those that are diagnosed with dementia going forward for both that person and helping provide some supports and also helping maybe make it safer as Bill mentions. I don't think it's there yet. And I think it's going to be very helpful for the caregiver. I think it's actually helpful for the caregiver now. And I'm sorry, we're pivoting, but I am so passionate on this. But I do think it can be helpful for a caregiver now because you can start asking it questions. And again, trust but verify. But it can be helpful, definitely right now for a caregiver.
Absolutely. And you can teach it certain things where you say like this is I don't like big words, or I have dementia, or maybe I have, I've got bad vision, so you can make the text larger. You can personalize it for you, so it kind of already has a hint on where you're at and what and how to speak to you and things like that,
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
I think Bill just gave us a topic for some time this year, Al, if I can have you back, where we'll
Hmm.
focus on tools to maybe help someone diagnosed with dementia.
That'd be great. Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that, I believe we have gone through all the questions. So again, Al, thank you so much for coming on the webinar today. I so have enjoyed talking about this. Thank you as well to everyone who has listened in. And as always, I wish you all a great rest of the week and stay tuned for future webinars. Have a good one, everyone.